Usually when you make your stitch, you have the same colors on both sides. So for example, you have here purple, pink, and orange, and on the same side, other side, you have also purple, pink, and orange. You have yellow, you have yellow. So is there a case that you can make so that you won't have two colors at the same side? So in this technique I'm going to show you today, that's what we're going to do. So for example, here you see maroon strings, and on the other side you have gray strings. So here is another same idea. Have black strings here, and you have here gold strings. So today I'm going to show you how to start this technique and how to continue it with another 3 more stitches. And also, if you want, at the end of this video we're going to show you a current project that I'm making that uses it a lot. And also this technique will appear a lot during projects that I'll show you in the near future. So let's begin. So first I want to explain what's going on here. So first, as you can see, we have 6 strings that are the same color. So these 6 strings are formed with a break stitch. So I made first a break stitch with these strings, and then what I did is I took a gold string and put it halfway through the break stitch, and then also the same idea here in the black string here. Here I made also in the other half of a break stitch and added this string, and then we get this stitch, this kind of stitch. So for this stitch you'll need to have 5 strings, 3 strings that are in the same color, and another 2 strings that are different to each other in the colors. And here I've got 3 feet long, 80 centimeters long. So let's first create a break stitch out of 3 similar color strings. So first let's make a box stitch and then add the 3rd string. So finding first the center of 2 strings and make a regular box stitch. And I hope that you already know how to make this. So just the box here, and I want to add 3rd string is going to be, you can add it anywhere you want. So for example, you can add it over here. As long as you make your break, it's fine, completely fine. So if you know how to make a break in a different way, just do that. It's not the main. It's not the. If you make your break in any way, it will be good. So don't. Don't be afraid. You can make your break stitch at any way you want. So here I have my break stitch, and now I'm going to add the other 2 strings. Let's now add the maroon string. So to add this string, you need to add it in between this brown string and this brown string, like that. And you want to get outside in between this brown and this brown. So it's going to look like that. So we want to add it here, that, and then go outside the stitch like that. Okay, so make sure that you have a string here, and now just finding the center of this maroon string, so it's about here now. Okay, and so let's for example, let's show you here. It's you can see that you just need to make sure that you have what I have right now. That maroon will be in between these browns, and this side of maroon will be between this brown and this brown here. Next, we want to weave, as we always weave a string. So over and under. So we need to let's first example for this demonstration. Let's weave first this maroon string. So we want to weave it as normal, over and under. So over and under, like that. And then, like we always do when we add a string, we need to make sure that this side of a maroon string will be woven in between this loop and this loop. So over this brown and under this brown over here, as you can see, over this brown, under this brown, and in between this loop and this loop. So something like that. Hope that you understood. Over here, make sure that you'll see. So let's move it a little bit here. Okay, over and under, like we do always when we add a string. Also in between these two maroons, so make sure that you got like that. And now it's kind of a mess here, but you can see that we weave in the maroon string like that. So only one half of a break stitch you'll have a maroon string. And we're going to now add the gray string. So here it is. And we're going to do the exact same thing, but on the other side. So let's first move this maroon string over here so you can weave our gray string now. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to add the gray string in between this brown and this brown. So like that. So we're going to end it in between here and at the middle of a stitch, getting out there. So let's do it from here to here, and now find the center of this brown around here. And we want again to weave as we normally weave our new string when you want to add in a string. So we're going to weave over under and making sure that you correctly weave in your string. So over the brown, under the brown here, and make sure that the other side, this side, going to weave over brown and under. So over, make sure that this side is here, and over brown, under brown, and in between, of course, in between these two loops, this loop and this loop. So it's really the same idea as we add a string normally. So make sure that you know how to add a string. Okay, so what's next? The only thing that you need to do next is to pull the strings. So I usually like to have the gray here, so I can take all this gray and these two strings here, all three strings here, all three strings here, and then pull like that. Okay, and we have your first stitch. Now let's show you how to continue a stitch. So I'm going to make you another 3 stitches for making sure that you understood how to continue. So how to continue? Usually I like to continue by just first making the break stitch with the brown strings here, and then we'll weave all the other strings. So let's do the break stitch here. Again, we do the normal stuff, a normal break with brown strings. Like that we do, and then make sure also that these strings are in the middle of a stitch. So again, I'm weaving only the brown strings right now. And it's just pull so that you understood what I've done. So as you can see, here and here. Okay, next we're going to simply weave all the rest. So let's first weave the inner strings here. So we want the maroon always be here at the side of the maroon strings. So over here, maroon string here, over under as usual, and the gray string will be on the other side, over under as usual again. And then weaving the other ones. So now you want to have this gray string over under and getting outside at the center again. So you want to make sure that your gray string here is going to be at the center so that you can weave again the same stuff. So gray here and maroon will come here, of course, over and under, and go outside here at the center. So I hope that I'm not making it so fast, but I don't want to make it too slow because then it will take forever. So make sure you have something like that, and I'll make another 2 stitches just to make sure that you understood. Well, if you don't understand, you can always leave your comment. So again, just weaving and pulling with string and make another 2 stitches like that. So let's try to make it again clearer. First making the break stitch, as you can see. So all the brown strings are going to be woven now, as normal. And make sure that those strings are in the center. So keep them in the center. And then weave the other brown strings. And we want now to weave the middle strings here. So this guy will be over here because it's on the maroon side. Maroons will keep there, will stay at the maroon strings, the maroon side. So over under, as you can see. And then you do the same thing over here with this gray string. So over under the brown, like that. And next we weave like that. So again, we want to weave as normal in between here and over under and going out to the center of a stitch. So like that, and then do the same thing here on the maroon strings. Again, you want to go over here and under this brown string like that, and getting outside to the center. And then you want to weave, pull the strings like that. Okay, and let's make our last stitch here. So again, let's do the same thing. We're going to make first a break stitch with the brown strings, making sure that the middle strings here are staying at the middle. And then you want to weave gray to gray, going outside here on the gray side, and make sure it's straight, of course. And then you want to have maroon to maroon, over under, and taking the other maroon, going over under and outside again a stitch, sticking it outside here, and make with this one also over under like that. Pulling. And here you have it. Now, if you want to continue by making a normal quad stitch, so you had enough with these middle strings here, and or you could, if you want to get back to the normal stitch, so you'll have here maroon string here, for example, and a maroon string here. I'll talk about it in a different video because this video is getting a little bit too long for this. So you can watch there, or you can figure it out yourself if you want. It's pretty basic, just switching this string here with this string here, and then after a few more stitches cutting the middle strings here. So that will be for a different video. So let's now move on to the example. So here's the example that I want to show. It's a Mega Lucario and a Pokemon. And you can see, for example, on the ears have black strings here, black loops here. And on the other side you have blue. So that's the technique that I'm showing you today. Also, you can see over here, if I try to zoom in here, you can see here blue strings over here, and in the other side, so these guys are blue, it's a usual stuff, but these blue strings on the other side there are black strings. So it's the same idea that I'm showing you this video, but as you can see here, this is what we're doing in this video. So again, let's try to zoom here. And as you can see, it's hard to see because all the strings here almost are black strings. But as you can see, it's a 2x2 stitch. So 2 strings here, 2 strings here, 2 strings here, and 2 strings here. But you have also the 2 strings in the center that allows us, this blue string will always going to be here up, and then also this guy will be always in the upper side, and then all the rest of the strings will be black strings. So this, for example, will go down here, and etc. So yeah, that's why I have here blue strings on the top side, blue loops, and on the bottom side we have here black loops, same as this. So blue strings here and black strings here. So until next time.